Washington.
This your boy, Martin for here once again.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? This your boy Jamar 4 here once again. Look, listen. Y'all gonna have to excuse me. Cause I'm not even in, this isn't even my room right now. I'm crashing in my roommate's room who hasn't moved out yet because I'm in the process of moving. Like they literally picked up all my furniture, all my shit is gone. That's why I ain't got my ring light, I ain't got my regular light in. So I'm just giving this to y'all right here in raw just because I didn't do anything for the finale because I'm still got shit going on. But I'm gonna do it today. And then hopefully by next week I should be in a better shape, we'll see. But anyway, I still want to come and talk about this reunion for Chasing Atlanta. And I knew it was gonna be good, but I didn't know it was gonna be like this, to be completely honest with you. And even as a fan, as much as, you know, it sucks to not be able to experience something like that live, I definitely believe that having a closed set or just between the cast allowed a lot of these moments, the ones that were positive, to happen. So, because I feel like if they were in front of an audience, I feel like people would have been a little bit more performative and may have been less likely to open up and let those walls down. So even though that sucks that we can't see them live, like it was really, really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And surprisingly, I thought like I was gonna come into this with like this a whole lot of things to sort of dissect and really get into, which there are some things that we can still, you know, talk about and hash here. But a lot of these questions and a lot of the stuff and topics that they talked about, Scotty and I covered a lot of these things on our interviews with the cast members. Like I have, you know, memory and notes about what happened because they went through the intros, right? You know, everybody's asking everybody how they're doing, if they're doing well, and everybody's looking happy, everybody looks good. Perfect. So the first sort of discussion that they have is regarding the contracts. Now, Scotty and I have interviewed Kendra, and Scotty and I have interviewed Oliver and Lauren regarding this situation. And honestly, I mean, at the end of the day, it was just like a lot of miscommunication. Kendra got miscommunicated by some of the miscommunication that Wayne was having with both Lauren and Oliver, and one said they did one thing, one said they didn't get it. So it was just a lot of mismatched information going back and forth, and it just caused confusion, and therefore caused the issue that, you know, trickled to Kendra having an issue with both Oliver and Lauren. And it's just like, girl, I mean, miscommunication is kind of over. You know, it wasn't really too much that they could really go into it. It's just like going forward, you know, we're gonna definitely try to use this as an experience and a learning experience, I should say, and just get everything signed before we even start recording, so we got to worry about if something gonna be released and yada yada yada. So I'm glad we kind of nipped that in the bud. The next main topic that came up was whether or not Troy was picking sides, and we asked him in our interview, and he basically, I don't know if he pretty much gave the same answer. He wasn't really trying to pick a side because he was, you know, close with both Oliver and Kendra at the time. So he really just wanted them to sort of come together so we could all be close. Because there's nothing more annoying than being like the friend where you can only hang out with this person, but you can't hang out with and this person separately, but you can't hang out all together. And you're like the mutual person, and they always telling you shit about the other person, and that's annoying. So I definitely feel him wanting to, you know, unite and get people together. So I never believed that he was picking sides, but he did say that, you know, he once, I guess Kendra did what she did at the dinner regarding like trying to throw things and different objects. That's when he sort of retaliated against her more because of her actions. That makes sense. So, and again, that one had been kind of nipped in the bud. Now, this Oliver and Dominique conversation about, you know, using the word punk, because I knew when I talked to Dominique, he said this was going to be definitely something we're going to talk about at the reunion. And honestly, I mean, I understand, you know, Oliver's point where it was mainly like I was using it as somewhat of a term of endearment. Well, it was like a combination of a term of endearment and like, I guess, light shade, if you want to call it that, because he was kind of like, I call myself a punk. It's kind of like how, you know, some members of the LGBT community use the F word to reference girls that they don't like, or they call themselves that, and they kind of, turn it into, a term of endearment. That doesn't really work for everyone. It doesn't really translate to everyone. So from the outside looking in regard to this situation, Oliver calling Dominique a punk, in Dominique's mind, Dominique associates the word punk with someone who's weak, small, just less than in some way or fashion. Whereas it seemed like Oliver was using the word punk as just being like, in the moment, I don't really like what you're doing, so I'm going to call you a punk. Without all the negative connotations. So that's why Oliver was confused as to why Nick was so mad, and then that's just why Nick was so mad. At least to me. Like, I'm trying to give like quick synopsis, like breakdowns of a lot of these conversations, because they kind of elongated it, at least to me. I just kind of knew the root and like my own breakdown while watching it. But these are the main points. And that's my analysis of what I think was going on. And hopefully, a lot of the cast that we've interviewed over the course of this season are willing to come back and do additional, one last like B-side interview, just talking about what was going on at the reunion from their perspective. So, hopefully we get to make that happen, because a lot of them did like the idea of coming back after the reunion, so that'll be exciting. I do want to talk about this topic on the green screens though, because as many of you know, when creating a reality show, when it comes to confessionals of the green screens, the producers of the show will ask the cast member to tell me what you were thinking, or can you tell us, how you were feeling at such and such time, at like a specific time in a conversation. And these are usually weeks or just X number of days after the situation has happened, so you can kind of get an idea of where their mind was in the moment, right? So, as another cast member, if you know that, and it's not like how you necessarily feel today as we're watching it, it's weird when people get like, oh, I'm offended because such and such you felt that way and blah, blah, blah. More often than not, like if it was something that was, like a real situation that really you felt the way about, you probably would have talked it over by now, because this is months and months later. It's just like, girl, if we talked about this, why are you upset about what I said in the green screen in reference to something that was months ago, like before we talked? So I could definitely see, both sides. But that whole situation about calling people up and, after reading them on TV, it's kind of like, well, I feel like that's something that I probably would think to do though, not even gonna lie. Because it's like, look, girl, if we didn't talk about it, I should say that, if we didn't hash it out yet or have like that conversation and we already did the green screen and I'm explaining how I felt about it in that moment, I would tell them, because I wouldn't want them to feel like blindsided because of the way that they might edit it and whatever. So I could understand that from both sides. But honestly, I wanted to get like some of the, I guess, considered shadier moments out of the way, just because I wanted to highlight the moments where we really recap like every cast member having like that vulnerable moment. And I loved how Imani, who did a great job, by the way, Imani was a great host. I loved how we went through everybody. What the hell are you eating? See, I'm about to beat this dog down, y'all. You ain't about to worry me. Dang, you made me lose my train of thought. But I liked how we went through everybody's teachable moment, everybody's having their vulnerable moment. And there were some that is like, wow, I forgot that they sure did say that. And it was just like watching them all, because at this point, hold on. I'm trying to get this food. Because at this point, a lot of these cast members have, over the course of the season, we've grown a relationship. Like, they're like, almost all of them are like my friends. You know what I mean? So when you see your friend, and like Troy, I'm an empath. So when you see somebody like talking about their pain and, you can see them getting emotional, you can see it, touching them in a certain way, like it touches you as well. And so like when you're, now with me having relationships with these people, it makes it, so much more touching, because I know like Dominique and Rico's close friendship and how they were there to support each other through this new cast member experience, and they got they got emotional. Lauren being able to talk about her transition was great. Kendra sort of giving her that affirmation that we stand in solidarity towards you because I'm going through the transition as well. Was a beautiful moment. Imani bringing up Ty Couture, that was Quentin or Hugh's really, really good friend, and he unfortunately passed recently. Cameron, with his cancer and his health situation, and Rico being there, and Rico almost losing his mom. Like a lot of, Imani said, this was the thought I had. This is what I'm remembering. Imani had said that in reality TV, a lot of times we try to make ourselves so hard, and be unbothered, who can be the baddest bitch and whatnot. But it's like it really does require a balance for us to see like the humane part of you as well. That's where you really relate to people. It's like, yeah, everybody wants to be hard, everybody wants to be the baddest, have the most money, the best car, whatever, all that shit. But then it's like, so like, who are you really? Like, what is unique about you as a person? Like, what's your story? You know what I mean? So I definitely feel like showcasing that was my all-time favorite part of the reunion. And even though I haven't established a relationship with Travis as of yet, him sort of getting emotional again about losing his grandfather, like I felt him so much, because like every now and then, like I get emotional from thinking about when I lost my grandmother back in 2015. When she lost on Valentine's Day, and it's just like every now and then, like when I'm thinking about it, or I just something triggers it, you just start to get really, really emotional. I'm like, I felt him. I can only imagine like having to see yourself in the moment, or the same day that you found out something like that happened. Like it's just like, wow. So yeah, I definitely stood with Travis in that moment, and it's just like, like Imani said, just seeing everybody let that wall down for a second and, sort of showcase their humanity was definitely my favorite part of the reunion. Definitely my favorite part. And of course, after we've sobbed and, bled our heart out, then we start with the mess. Then we go right back into the mess with Dominique and Travis. Now, there's all these different conversations online about, is Dominique doing too much? Travis was tacky. Travis is like some sort of sexual, predator, and, Dominique's mad for no reason. He's doing this all for a storyline, and all this back and forth. It's the thing. It's in Dominique's case, if you feel disrespected, you can't really tell somebody that they shouldn't feel disrespected. You know what I mean? And to his defense, if you greet somebody like that, you probably will get smacked. And especially when I forgot that Troy had mentioned that he did something, and Oliver mentioned that he did something. Now, what I will say is, it would have been a good idea to really nip something like that in the butt right then, as opposed to sort of just talking about it with other people and sort of waiting to talk about it with the main person. But then again, I don't know. That could have just been the editing, and he may have mentioned it to a degree, but didn't really say how much it bothered him. I'm not sure. But if I were to critique the whole situation, it was just like, Travis, no, you should not have, do somebody like that and expect them not to feel disrespected, or at least that they showcase that they're disrespected. You can't be mad. And with Dominique, you should have, I believe, kind of mentioned or nipped that in the butt immediately. I don't, maybe they didn't get to finish taping, and I know you said you wanted to make sure you addressed everything on camera, but I would have definitely said something that night, or probably in that moment. Just be like, oh no. Because Travis claims that he just never heard anything about it, so I'm like, okay, well maybe she didn't say it. But I definitely wanted to at least address, everybody looked amazing, y'all. Like, who do y'all think y'all had the best outfit? I don't know. I don't have a favorite. It was just really, really, really fun. I really want to hopefully interview the cast again after the reunion is over. I know that like Oliver and Lauren said that they wanted to come back after the reunion, and we might get Q as well. So whenever they're able to freely talk about it and we've seen everything, then we can really get down to the nitty gritty. But this was so good. This was so good. Congratulations to Dario and everybody over at the production crew for putting this thing together. Oh, excuse me. Shout out to the cast for, putting on an amazing show and keeping us all entertained since the last week of October. So hopefully the next time that you guys see me, I'll be in my new space. It probably may not be decorated just yet, but I'll be in my new space. I catch my plane to Atlanta tomorrow. I still have things that I need to do, just last minute tie-ins before I leave in the morning, but I just wanted to come and film this video for you guys right quick. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, we are only $100 away from our goal for me and Scotty's podcast GoFundMe. The link should be in the bottom and it's pinned on my Twitter account. Either way, if you find it in your heart to reach this goal, we can get our podcast and stuff together and we can start making the content that we really want to make without the limitations of only doing things on my phone. So if you have anything that you would like to donate, the link should be in the bottom below. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.
Like, share, subscribe.
Washington.